first All-State Sugar Bowl from New Orleans. Here we go. Christian Jones, 3 yards deep, mishandles it. And now he'll have it down by White.
The strength of this Ohio State defense is their front. When Urban Meyer left Florida, came to Ohio State, he knew to build a championship team, it starts with the defensive line. That is what has been separating the SEC from other leagues for the last several years. He's got that kind of defensive line right now at Ohio State.
Henry flanking Blake Sims. They're going to fly sweep it, though, to Amari Cooper. Just one of the many ways they get it in his hands, and a nice run, a pickup of about 5 before he's run out of bounds.
They will put Amari Cooper in a lot of different spots. Lane Kiffin, the offensive coordinator this year, has done a brilliant job of moving Cooper around so that teams can't isolate him and double cover him. And right away, the first play of the game, they flip it to him and let him become a running back.
Now he trots out to the top of your screen as a wide receiver, and Sims on a 2nd down and 5 from the 30. Gives it off to Henry. Only got about a yard, though, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Alabama #1 in the SEC, #2 in the country in 3rd down conversions.
Nice play by Joey Bosa. Good fundamental play, maintained leverage, shed the block, and fell back in to make a tackle to bring up 3rd down.
3rd down and 3. P.J. Yeldon is in the Alabama backfield, but it's Sims, the throw to Cooper. Got his left hand on it, but that's all. Duran Grant, the captain of the defense, was there defensively.
Duran Grant is the best cover guy in this Ohio State secondary. He's a senior in perfect position and made a nice play on the ball. Read the eyes of Amari Cooper and swept his hand down in there to knock the ball out.
So an Alabama team that had scored 7 touchdowns and 2 field goals in opening drives this season's a 3 and out on their opening possession here tonight. J.K. Scott to punt. It's going to bounce into the hands of Jalen Marshall, who's dropped by Landon Collins immediately. 50-yard punt and nothing on the return. Cardale Jones has one of the best nicknames in college football. 12 gauge. Well, sophomore, 6'5", 250.
Yeah, and he can really throw it. Now, when Ohio State beat Michigan State earlier in the year, they came out and 8 of the first 9 plays called were pass plays. I would not be surprised to see if Ohio State comes out throwing a lot on early downs in this ball game as well.
Urban Meyer said we want to be in 2nd down and 4 and 2nd down and 5, not 2nd down and 10. First down here from the 15. Ezekiel Elliott, and he fights for about 4.
Jones rolls, fires, kind of a wobbly pass, and it's caught by Evan Spencer.
Incomplete.
Hit the turf.
Incredible effort by Spencer. The ball hung in the air quite a while, and he went up with one hand and tried to snatch it.
I thought we had an Odell Beckham Jr. thing working there for a second. Wow.
We couldn't see it from that angle.
Tremendous play on the ball. I'm not 100% sure he didn't catch this time. Well, yeah, maybe not. That might be the best replay right there. 3rd down and 6 now for Ohio State. Jones getting some pressure. And he'll run with it. And the big fella can run, and he's got a 1st down. And several more yards out across the 30.
Cardale Jones is a capable runner. He's not as good of a runner as Braxton Miller or J.T. Barrett, but in a situation like this, when everything's covered downfield, he does have the ability to run for the 1st down.
And on 3rd and 6, he got 12. And now quickly, it's Marshall out of the backfield, and he's still on his feet. Out to the 44-yard line.
Ohio State using tempo. Tempo historically has given Alabama's defense a little bit of a problem. They're trying to substitute now, get some fresh defensive linemen in.
That was quarterback number 1, quarterback number 2, and quarterback number 3 gives it off. Marshall trying to sweep left this time is dropped by Xavier Dixon, and a loss of 2. And his helmet comes off at the end of the play.
Alabama has a lot of depth at the defensive line position.
So Jalen Marshall's got to go out because his lid came off, so at least one play on the sideline for him.
Right now, Ohio State doing a nice job trying to attack the perimeter. The inside of this Alabama defense, very difficult to run against. One of the best in the country, only giving up 88 yards per game.
On a 2nd and 13, just a straight handoff to Ezekiel Elliott trying to get wide right. And he got the corner and a hurdle. And now Elliott off the races down the sideline. 1st and goal, Ohio State.
Great job by the center, Jacoby Bourne. Watch number 50 pull on this play, get a block on the middle linebacker. And again, hard to run inside. Your best opportunity to run is to get the problem, I guess, huh?
Yep. Clinton's kick. Christian Jones won't mishandle this one. Brings it from 2 yards deep, and he goes down in a heap at the 12-yard line.
Well, and I think one of the stories right now for Alabama is that this is the 2nd series and still no T.J. Yeldon. Now, Derrick Henry is a very capable back and has had a great bowl preparation, but the absence of Yeldon, a big factor for Alabama.
He was in for that one play on 3rd down, but never touched the ball, and Sims fires far side, complete. Even though there's 2 guys out there, you hear the chants of Coop for Amari Cooper, a pickup of 6. There's T.J.
Good 1st down play. T.J. Yeldon, I mean, when you talk about the combination of these 2 guys, both physical backs, Yeldon at 220, Derrick Henry at 240, and they wear you down during the course of a game when both of them are healthy.
And here is Derrick Henry, tripped up and dropped for a loss of a yard.
See, this is what Ohio State's defensive front needs to do. Get penetration and use their athleticism. Michael Bennett is the guy who got penetration. He didn't get the tackle, but he was able to force Henry to try to bounce that outside. They're not as big as the Alabama offensive line, but they're more athletic.
So here's another 3rd down for the Tide. Remember, they were 3 and out on their first one. That's what the Ohio State fans are looking for here. Yeldon in there with Sims. Heavy pressure up the middle. Passes well overthrown for the intended receiver, Cooper. And it's another punting situation coming up for Alabama.
Well, that time they had the matchup that they wanted with Cooper working on the freshman Eli Apple. But that was just a clearly overthrown pass by Blake Sims in another punt situation. And again, the field position edge that Ohio State has maintained all season long is already starting to have an effect.
He's had a whale of a season punting for Alabama. Oh, and he got all of this, baby. Christian Jones has had some big punt returns and kickoff returns over his career for Alabama. He's back deep. And he's going to have a play on this one at around the 30-yard line. Reversing his field. Not anybody over there to block for him, though. And he gets about 6 on the return before he's run out of bounds by Cam Williams.
Well, pretty good return by Christian Jones, but I want to go back to the opening kickoff. And this could have been a disastrous play for Christian Jones. Because he touched it, this was a live ball. That's why there's no official signal. And if it weren't for the alertness of DeAndrew White to cover this ball, if Ohio State would have fallen on that, the game would have started with an Ohio State touchdown. And we've already seen how difficult Ohio State has had trying to get a touchdown against this Alabama defense. That could have been a critical mistake to start the game for Alabama.
So now the Tide at the 39-yard line. 2 tight ends in there, and Henry behind Sims. Amari Cooper in motion. They're going to throw it to him. And a shoestring catch at the 45-yard line.
That's the matchup that they want against the redshirt freshman Eli Apple, the field corner for Ohio State. He's going to be an outstanding player. 6'1", 198 pounds, out of New Jersey. But again, Amari Cooper, just so difficult to defend. He has great speed, size, and strength.
Now Cooper's in the slot. They're going to throw it to him again out there, looking for a blocker. Puts his hand down, and he's dropped by Darren Lee, the outside linebacker. Nice play in the open field.
And you see that tackling technique. One of the things Ohio State has really tried to adapt kind of comes from Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks. Luke Fickell talked about the rugby tackling style. Aim for the hip, head behind, wrap and roll, and that's it to perfection right there.
3rd down and 3. TJ Yeldon back in there. He'll get the carry, and he's not going to get the first down. Bosa was there first, and Curtis Grant, the middle linebacker, who made the hit. And it's 4th down.
Excellent job. Good penetration first by Bennett. He occupied the guards block, Leon Brown, and then Bosa was able to get across the line of scrimmage as well. This defensive front is the strength of the Ohio State defense, and they forced a critical 4th down play right there.
Jalen Marshall will wait on this punt coming up from J.K. Scott, who already has a 73-yarder to his credit tonight. Right now, he'd just like to knock one out of bounds at about the 5 and keep it out of the hands of Jalen Marshall.
He is a tall drink of water, too. I was checking him out before the game on the field. He is long and lanky.
Play game. Offense number 15.
Yeah, they're going to give him a little more room to work.
4th down.
6'4" and about 185 pounds of water.
Interesting what just happened there. Because of that penalty, which I think Alabama's okay with, Ohio State had a safe punt, had their defense on the...
We do wish you a Happy New Year. Curtis Samuel from around the goal line. Whoa! Hello. Reuben Foster.
Their kick coverage has been outstanding so far. There is a flag down.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Kicking team number 21. Toss Connie is first in the game. A 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
That's Maurice Smith, number 21. Celebrating the hit by Reuben Foster, I guess. But this was a serious hit. High kickoff, good disciplined coverage. There's the hit by Foster.
I didn't see.
And there's the taunt. No, he stood right over top of him as he was on the ground. There's the hit, good clean hit. And then after this, there's Maurice Smith standing over top of him.
Okay, good call.
That's a good call.
Yep. Best starting field position for Ohio State because of the penalty. They work from the 29 with 8 minutes, 2 seconds remaining till halftime. Elliott, a tough yard. That's about it.
You know, when we talked to Urban Meyer the other day, he said when talking about Alabama, you put on film, you say, where's a weakness? You're always looking for weakness. There are none with Alabama. So when that's the case, you cannot help a team like that. And Ohio State has helped them. They've turned the ball over twice. They've not converted when they've gotten the ball inside the 5-yard line when they could have scored touchdowns. And it's hard to beat a complete team like Alabama when you help them.
Flags are down as Elliott's going to go down at the line of scrimmage. Reggie Ragland and DJ Petway out to make the hit.
One of the things that's impressive to me about this Alabama defense and their defensive front is the depth. They have 8 to 10 guys that they rotate through those defensive down 3 or 4 guys. And they all kind of look the same.
Offense, too many players in the backfield. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
And of course, Nick Saban declines a penalty because there was no gain on the play, so they'll take the down instead, and it's 3rd down and long. Cardell Jones needs to be on target on this 3rd down and 10. If he can get the pass away. And he is on target to Marshall, who spins his way across the 50 to the 45.
Nice job of hanging in the pocket because this is pretty good pressure and it's collapsing around him. But Cardell does a nice job of staying in there and finding Marshall on the deep crossing route.
Pickup of 26. So Ohio State back in Alabama territory. They've got 2 timeouts remaining. Plenty of time to work here at the 45 of Alabama. Whoops. Elliott took a step forward.
Yeah. Again.
He lost his balance just preparing for the play to start.
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
This is the area of the field where Urban Meyer and Tom Herman like to take deep shots down the field. Once they get inside the 50, now that penalty backs them up to the 50. But this is still the area where they like to try to attack. Devin Smith, their deep threat guy, is down here at the bottom of the screen.
On 1st and 15, empty backfield, pump fake by Jones. Throws off his back foot, but he completed it. Very short gain. Actually got 6 out of it, beg your pardon. Back across the original line of scrimmage to the 44. Michael Thomas on the sideline, their leading receiver.
The guy they might go to here is Marshall in the slot, probably guarded by a safety or a linebacker.
Jones fires far side into coverage, incomplete. Intended for Corey Smith, and a nice play by Eddie Jackson.
Yeah, Eddie Jackson just squatted on that route. You know, what Cardell Jones read there was single coverage on the outside, one-on-one. You expect your guy to win that battle, and Eddie Jackson read the route and was in perfect position to make a play on the ball.
So here's a big 3rd down for Cardell Jones. It's been pretty good on 3rd down. Needs another one here. Deep middle. Caught by Marshall inside the 20.
See, when Marshall lines up in the slot, he's going to draw coverage if it's man from a safety or a linebacker. This is zone coverage, and he does a nice job of finding the void in the middle of the Alabama defense.
Couple of 26-yard completions on this drive, and now Jones going to the end zone. Incomplete, intended for Marshall again.
Now, they have hit some plays on 3rd down, Brad, but they have been averaging 3rd and 9 or more in those 3rd down situations. The percentages are not in your favor if that's what you're facing on 3rd down. But Cardell Jones on this drive in particular has hit a couple big ones.
Then in the red zone, it had to settle for field goals. They need a touchdown here. Just over 5 to play in the quarter.
Haven't seen a screen pass, maybe a chance of getting the ball to Ezekiel Elliott by throwing it to him.
2nd and 10 at the 18. Elliott will come in motion. That's where he's going with the football, just as Todd called it. Almost ran out of bounds, but stays in, and he's got it down inside the 10-yard line.
The reason that was such a good call by Tom Herman is because Alabama's defense has done a better job defending Ezekiel Elliott running the football. So find a way to get him the ball where there's not so much traffic around him. Throw it to him.
They're going in a hurry. Only got about a yard on it. They lined up and snapped it. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Well, this is absolutely critical that Ohio State scores a touchdown here. Not only because they're behind 21-6, but this is the 3rd time they've been in goal-to-go situations, and they've had to settle for field goals on 2 times. They have to find a way to get the ball in the end zone here.
Curtis Samuel in the backfield with Jones, who's calling for it. Rolling to his left, comes back to his right. Nice play by Eddie Jackson on the tight end Van Ness. Oh, I guess he threw a flag. That came late. I guess he was a little bit early.
He made contact. He was making a play on the ball. He got there a little early because the ball was floated. The ball was so soft coming out there.
Defense number 4. The ball was
Alabama was out of position. They were running a guy on the field late. Watch how this ball is just kind of floated to the backside. And because it's hanging in the air, Eddie Jackson, even though he's making a play on the ball, the contact was early.
Good call. And a first down at the spot. So it's right at the 5-yard line.
Curtis Samuel now in for Ezekiel Elliott, their other running back.
Van Etten, the tight end, moves into the slot. Marshall coming around, gets the flip. And that's all he's going to get. Lost a yard, I think. Nice play by Trey DePriest.
The reason that play's tough is because they're running into the short side of the field. It's a sweep, but they're running it into the boundary, and that enabled these linebackers and Trey DePriest to get there and make the play.
Landon Collins is the guy that's down on one knee. All-American safety.
Yep, he's their best player. It looks like his right shoulder he's concerned about or favoring.
He's made a lot of tackles already in this first half. And one of the leaders of their defense, the captain, Louisiana native, as a matter of fact, playing back in his home state. We'll check on him when we come back. 4 minutes remaining first half. Landon Collins is headed to the locker room for Alabama. There he is. We went back 2 plays because the previous play he looked to be favoring his right arm or shoulder, trying to help out on the tackle. So we went back 2 plays, and this is how he was injured.
Yeah, Evan Spencer, who's a 210-pound wide receiver and an excellent blocker. A good clean block, and you could see right away after the contact Landon Collins favoring that right arm or right shoulder.
Jarek Williams will come in to take his spot.
But the story for Ohio State continues to be 8 goal-to-go plays, -5 yards. Only one of them has gained any positive yards. They have to find a way to get this ball in the end zone.
Second down and goal at the 6. Elliott with Jones in the backfield. Gets the carry. Slipped a little bit. Keeps his legs moving and got to at least the 4, maybe inside the 4. And we got an Ohio State player down.
That's Jacoby Boren, the center. Very valuable member of this offensive line as well. This offensive line, when the season started, they replaced 4 starters, and they weren't very good in the beginning of the year. We had the Virginia Tech game. They struggled as a unit, but they have gotten better and better. It's been the same 5 guys that have started the whole season, and they have gotten better as the season has worn on. But Jacoby Boren is the leader, and now in a critical 3rd and goal situation, a new center coming into the ball game, Chase Ferris. They better get some snaps with Cardell Jones right now on the sideline.
Boren in the middle of the pack there. Not the biggest center in the world. Got rolled up on badly from behind. They list him at 6'1". He may not be even that tall, about 285 pounds, but Urban Meyer said, I would go to war with him any day. How tough he is. And he's trying to tough it out right now. And
Pat Elflein, who is the starting right guard, is going to be the center. Chase Ferris, number 57, is going to come in his place at guard, I believe. Elflein doing the smart thing right now, taking some snaps on the side, leading up to this critical 3rd down play. And Boren looks to be up and at it anyway.
And he gets right into that offensive line huddle to try to fire him up as he's got to come off the field.
You just cannot settle for another field goal here. Not only does it keep you behind on the scoreboard, but psychologically, it'll wear you down. You got to find a way to crack the code here and get into the end zone.
On this drive, they've converted a 3rd and 10 and a 3rd and 9. They want to get a 3rd and goal right now. Marshall crosses the field. Elliott leads the way. Touchdown, Ohio State. That one puts him right back in business.
Great job by the left side. Billy Price and Taylor Decker, the left guard and tackle. They get a double team inside, and then Decker moves off to the 2nd level. The new center, Elflein, gets a nice block, and Elliott able to run it into the end zone. Critical touchdown for Ohio State.
Nurnberger in for the point after. Up and good. A little over 5 minutes for the Buckeyes. Christian Jones and DeAndrew White waiting on the kickoff. Jones runs up on it at about the 3-yard line. Trying to get it to the middle of the field and goes down to the 10. Great coverage again. That's the second time Corey Smith's made a big play on special teams tonight.
Perfect kick and great coverage. We'll go back to the Ohio State touchdown. I think Alabama was expecting pass, and the motion by Jalen Marshall is going to just kind of freeze these guys a little bit. They don't attack the line of scrimmage, and that enables Ohio State to get into their blocks and get the ball in the end zone. Alabama thinking pass on that 3rd down, and Ohio State hit them with the inside run for the critical touchdown.
Last couple of games for Ezekiel Elliott, how big has he been? 220 in the win over Wisconsin, the Big Ten title game, and 117 tonight. He, I think, gets overlooked a little bit when he came in with over 1,400 yards rushing, but that's because as Landon Collins is coming back out, you think about the Big Ten and some of the backs they have. Melvin Gordon, obviously, Wisconsin. Tevin Coleman from Indiana. David Cobb in Minnesota. Amir Abdullah in Nebraska. And Jeremy Langford, who had a huge game for Michigan State today. So many great backs in the Big Ten. Sometimes you get lost in the shuffle a little bit. Amari Cooper broke 1 tackle and then knocked out of bounds on the far sideline as we check in with Holly.
Great news for Alabama fans. Landon Collins standing here at the tunnel ready to come back out on the field. He's adjusting his shoulder pads. He's moving that right arm and that right shoulder just fine right now. Also another update, Jacoby Bourne, the center for Ohio State. They have taped up that ankle. It's been an injury that's bothered him previously this season. Looks like he's going to try to go.
Well, he's a tough dude. We'll see when they come back out on offense. But right now it's Alabama's turn with a 2nd down and 4. Derrick Henry with Blake Sims in the tied backfield. They fake it to him, throw out to DeAndrew White, who's dropped after maybe a yard gain by Lee.
Boy, great play by Darren Lee. He had a hold of the ankle and didn't let go. If he doesn't make this tackle, DeAndrew White probably squirts forward for a 1st down. Darren Lee was blocked. He got a hold of the ankle and wouldn't let go and forces 3rd down.
Ohio State would love a stop here and the chance to get the football back if they can prevent a 3rd and 3. Blake Sims throwing the balls, hit his last 8 passes.
Well, here's Cooper right here. They've got him kind of protected.
It will be a pass. It will not be complete. DeAndrew White dropped it.
Yeah, he let it get to his body. Instead of catching it out in front with his hands, he let it get all the way to his body, and it bounced right off of his shoulder pads. Incomplete. Well thrown ball by Blake Sims. DeAndrew White just doesn't secure the catch.
Boy, it's been feast or famine for the Tide. They have 3 touchdown drives, and now they have 4 3-and-outs, and there's nothing in between. 4th down, and J.K. Scott to punt. He can let this one fly as long as he wants to. Again, a beauty. Fair catch called for way back at the 22-yard line by Marshall.
Well, that is a weapon now to have a punter like that.
Well, he was an ESPN first-team All-American and a Ray Guy finalist, and I can see why. And right now, the All-State Sugar Bowl, 21-13. Ohio State with the ball back, 1:32, and a couple of timeouts to work with.
J.K. Scott, 4 punts, 59.5-yard average.
Not bad.
Oh, man.
Van at the tight end in motion. Jones, the play fake, fires, completes. Michael Thomas, he broke a tackle, and he got out around the 37-yard line.
1:24, plenty of time. Ohio State with 2 timeouts. You want to get that first down when you're working a 2-minute offense, either at the end of the half or end of the game. Getting that first down is critical.
And Michael Thomas still down after that reception.
124, 124.
Nice second effort. Went through the would-be tackle of Cyrus Jones.
Thank you.
And in doing so, you hope it's just cramps at this point. 1:24 left. Thomas redshirted last year and came in. Keyshawn Johnson's nephew as the leading receiver catch-wise for Ohio State this year. You mentioned Devin Smith's the big play artist of the bunch.
Well, he and Cardell Jones both spent the fall of 2011 at Fort Union Military Academy in Virginia. A one-year prep school after high school. A lot of times guys go there if they need to mature a little bit, if they need to get their grades right. It's a very rigorous program, excellent football program as well, and both of them benefited from their time there.
So he started off cold. He's warmed up. Does have that costly interception that ended up turning into 7 points. But he's had some big third down conversions on that last drive that led to Ezekiel Elliott's touchdown run. And he's all by his lonesome right now in the Ohio State backfield. J.T. Barrett looking on. Jones, plenty of time. Going to throw short underneath, complete. Corey Smith got to the 41. That's about all. Geno Smith made the tackle. And now we're down to 110.
Haven't seen the deep crossing route for Ohio State, something that they really like.
Again, an empty set. Cardell Jones loads, fires down the middle, complete inside the 45 to the 40 to Van at the tight end.
Clock will stop as they reset the chains.
Pickup of 19.
Again, Ohio State with 2 timeouts. Plenty of time here.
Landon Collins back in there, as Holly said, after coming back out of the Alabama locker room. 40 seconds left. Some valuable time being wasted. Jones steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to run with it straight ahead, and he's still running with it. Cardell Jones inside the 15. 27-yard rumble up the middle.
That's the 3rd time we've seen him scramble up the middle. And his size and strength gets out of the tackle of Ryan Anderson for the first down.
Now he's rolling right to throw. And just throws it away wisely to stop the clock with 19 seconds left.
And I think what the bench needs to remind Cardell of right now is that they have 2 timeouts. They can't afford to lose valuable time like they did on that one possession or the one play a few plays ago. Manage the clock right now. He's got a lot on his plate, a lot in his mind right now. Very important that he manages the clock here in the final 19 seconds of the first half.
They're already in Nurnberger's field goal range, well within his field goal capabilities, although that's been a kind of a shaky spot this year for Ohio State. At the 13-yard line, 2nd down and 10.
They may have to use a timeout right here because the play clock was down.
Yep.
There was confusion in their formation, and they had to burn a timeout right there because of confusion.
Cardell Jones, though, we talked about third down conversions on the previous drive. Talk about the biggest run of the night for him. It's going to be right here.
Well, watch his strength. At 6'5", 250, that's a defensive end, Ryan Anderson, and he runs right through that tackle and rumbles for the first down.
You know, there was a time about 5 minutes ago, Todd, where you looked at this and it was 21-6, and we kind of looked at each other and said, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And you got to give Ohio State credit. They have hung in, and not only hung in, they're going to cut this thing a little bit shorter before halftime.
Absolutely. And the critical thing was they found a way to get the ball in the end zone. If they would have had to settle for another field goal and only have 9 points on the board, it would have been devastating. They got it in the end zone. They got the good special teams coverage, and now they got a chance to add to their point total.
You would think they'd be sure to get 3, but they want more, if at all possible. With 19 seconds left, end around, and now a pass coming up. Spencer to the end zone. Thomas.
Did he get a foot down?
Yes, touchdown. Yes. Boy, did they ever do it with style, huh?
Well, Cyrus Jones is in perfect position. This is not a play that fooled Alabama, but the ball is thrown in the right spot. Did he get a foot down?
Wow.
I think he did.
There's his left foot. There's still some green showing before you see the chalk.
Wow.
What a catch and what unbelievable balance to stay in bounds.
What a catch, but what a throw by a wide receiver. Evan Spencer threw that ball in the only place that his guy could make a catch because Cyrus Jones was in perfect position to make a play on the ball. It had to take a perfect throw and an acrobatic catch on the other end.
Evan's dad, Tim, who was a great one in Columbus when he was a Buckeye, and his kid just lit up the crowd with that touchdown throw to Michael Thomas. Beautiful. 13 yards. And while they're continuing to look at it, it's 21-19 right now with 12 seconds to go.
I mean, Cardell Jones could not have thrown that ball any better. Evan Spencer put it in the only place he could.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Now this game has swung in the other direction.
What a call by Tom Herman, too. 19 seconds left in the half. They've had trouble in goal-to-go situations. They go for the trick play, and they pay it off with a touchdown.
I guess there's some thought that you might want to go for two here to try to tie it, but there's a lot of football left in the second half, so it's an extra point by Nurnberger coming up.
And Ohio State won the toss and deferred, so they'll get the ball to start the third quarter with momentum.
Again, Michael Thomas kind of quiet in the first quarter. They fake the pitch to Marshall, and then Spencer on this beauty.
Ohio State with 348 yards of total offense in the first half against this Alabama defense. That's beautiful.
That is. 14 unanswered points in the last 2 minutes and 43 seconds. And it can change just that quickly. And now we got a ball game. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Urban Meyer has long told us that Evan Spencer is a program guy that does everything right. He said he does so much for that. I trust him with everything. Coach really backing up those words, trusting him in a huge goal line situation right there. To throw a pass, that really is everything for the senior wide receiver.
An outstanding blocker on the perimeter. Doesn't get the ball thrown to him that much this year. Only 14 catches coming in. But outstanding blocking on the perimeter. And in that case, can't throw it any better.
Nope. And once he let it go, he knew it. Kick high and short. Jones runs up on it at about the 17, and he'll get out to the 29, maybe the 30. But just 6 seconds remaining now.
I would expect Alabama to just take a knee here.
Check out the balance of yardage here. Ohio State way bigger in the total yardage category, but Alabama still bigger on the scoreboard. But remember, 14 of those points came off turnovers.
Right. And the field position up until the last couple possessions was really in Alabama's favor. They had short fields to work with because of the turnovers. Ohio State started taking care of the ball. They started covering kicks, flipped the field, and made this a close football game.
A one-point football game at halftime. Great surge by Urban Meyer's Buckeyes in the final minutes of the second quarter. Partner, we got a good one going on right now.
Yeah, and this game was teetering in the balance for Ohio State at 21-6. They settled down. They righted the ship. They started making some things happen. They ran 20 more plays than Alabama did in that first half, and right now we have a heck of a ball game.
Well, and Nick Saban told Holly, I think they converted every third down. They didn't, but they did go 7 out of 10, and that's more first downs given up in a half by Alabama than anybody all year long against them.
More big plays, too, in that first half than Alabama was able to generate.
And Curtis Samuel will take a knee as we check in with Holly.
Well, Urban Meyer said it's a pretty obvious conversation. Don't turn the ball over. He said we can talk about the red zone and doing better in the red zone all day long. But the bottom line is don't turn the ball over. He thought his quarterback, Cardell Jones, really settled down later in that second quarter. He said momentum back and just play calm and settled.
And let's see how he does with the opening possession of the third quarter.
Mentioned big plays, impact plays, runs of 10 yards or more, passes of 20 yards or more. Ohio State had 12 impact plays in the first half. Alabama only 2.
Jacoby Bourne, by the way, the tough guy, is back in at center. He's not going to miss this one. Jones, quick play fake and a slant complete for a first down. So his first pass of the third quarter is good for 11 to Michael Thomas, who made that sensational catch in the corner of the end zone before halftime.
Nice job getting off tight coverage. Pass was a little bit behind him, but a nice job by Michael Thomas reaching back to make the grab.
First down at the 36. Empty backfield for Cardale Jones. The throw, Thomas again from the other side this time. Short of a first down, but a good throw and catch. Cyrus Jones made the tackle.
See, throwing on early downs against Alabama is very smart because as big and physical as their defensive line is, they're not great pass rushers on early run downs. Right out of the gate here in the second half, first 2 plays, Cardale Jones throwing the football.
Those tree stumps that Urban Meyer talked about, not great pass rushers. They're stout against the run, though. And here they're not. Elliott across midfield with a first down. And Bourne got all tangled up with Trey DePriest, the middle linebacker. So this is an impressive start in the opening minute.
Well, Ohio State has to be a very confident football team. They closed the gap. They scored right before halftime, and they come out of the gate here in the third quarter with positive momentum and positive yardage.
Pistol set here with Elliott behind Jones. Play clock down to 3. Blitz.
Here's the deep cross.
And a deep ball. And Smith in and out of his hands. Cyrus Jones was covering.
Well, Cardale Jones looks very confident. He's standing strong in the pocket. They run 2 guys off. You have the deep cross. Evan Spencer coming underneath. Not a bad chance going down the field against single coverage. Not able to make the connection, but they also had the crossing route with Evan Spencer coming underneath that.
Jalen Marshall in motion. They're going to flip it to him. They tried this one earlier. Whoa! And what a hit by Ragland.
And that's about the second or third time that he's been hit. Third time, and his helmet's come off.
And so he's coming out for another play. He's either better put that chin strap a little tighter.
Or get a double buckle or something. Because Ragland, that's 255 pounds coming full speed. Knocks the headgear clean off.
And that's exactly what they're working on, is the chin straps to get him a little tighter. He's going to feel that one, though, for a few plays, I think. Third down at 8.
Ohio State 7 of 10 in that first half. Most of them long yardage like this.
5 out of 6 when it's 3rd and 8 or more. Jones waited to the last minute and let it fly, and he's got Devin Smith. Touchdown.
Got a flag down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 47. That's 15-yard penalty. They're going to force on the kickoff.
And the Buckeyes have the lead.
Alabama went man coverage on that 3rd and long. They've been playing mostly zone on 3rd down earlier. They go single coverage, and Eddie Jackson fell down. And Devin Smith does what he does his whole career. Catch long passes for touchdowns.
That's his 30th. We mentioned those touchdown grabs average almost 38 yards. That one went 47. Nurnberger for the point after. And the Buckeyes are shocking everybody right now. 27-21.
3rd down and long. Cardale Jones has hurt them scrambling. Alabama goes man coverage. Eddie Jackson's okay. He's okay. And then he trips. And Devin Smith pays it off. And here's an interesting note. Devin Smith, coming into the game, had caught touchdown passes in 21 games. Ohio State, 21-0 in those games. There's the face mask at the end of the play. That will be assessed on the kickoff.
Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Devin Smith is a unique athlete. He has that skill to catch those long passes, he thinks, because he is a world-class long jumper, or high jumper, excuse me. He was second in the Big Ten in the outdoor with the high jump. He said he has got this kinesthetic awareness of his body. He knows how to control his body in difficult situations. He said also my hand-eye coordination is exceptional. He watches a ton of film on himself in those long ball situations on how to do it better, and he has made it an art, guys. He said, I wanted people to know there's a number 9 in this game. It's not just Amari Cooper. My name is Devin Smith.
Not only that, he's fast, and he high jumped 7 feet and a quarter in what Holly said, and finishing second in the Big Ten. Actually jumped 7-1 as a high school senior. And he has lit up the crowd here, the Ohio State portion of the crowd anyway, as they're leading by 6 now. 21 unanswered points in the last 5 minutes and 11 seconds of clock time. And again, now the kick will come from the 50. And just kind of pooch it up high. Taken out the 11 by Jones. And he didn't even get to the 20. That guy would be going for a 5th national championship. Went up by 14 or more. And they were up 15, 78-2. But right now, the short end by 6. Here's an eye backfield for one of the first times tonight with Jalston Fowler, the fullback. They fake it to Yeldon, and Sims in trouble. Scrambles out of trouble. First down and a bunch more. And the ball came out at the end, but I think he's down. He is at around the 39-yard line.
Well, we've seen Cardell Jones do this for Ohio State. Blake Sims, first down pass. Protection breaks down. He goes right up the middle. Picks up a block from T.J. Yeldon, and a big gain.
Ohio State just barely got set defensively. Alabama's ready to go, and Yeldon takes it around the corner out to the 45-yard line. Well, this could have been a disaster. Yep. Ohio State had guys about 6 yards away from the line of scrimmage, and Alabama was getting ready to snap it.
One of the changes for this Alabama offense that Lane Kiffin brought, part of it was when he was the head coach at USC, going against Oregon, up-tempo, no huddle. Nick Saban wanted to do it. Lane Kiffin decided to do it, and it's paid dividends.
Sims is leveled by Lee. Never had a chance to get rid of that football. This is an inspired group on both sides of the ball right now for the Buckeyes.
Well, T.J. Yeldon is going to get tangled up with Austin Shepard. The tackle in the back, they both ended up on Bosa, and nobody picked up the extra guy. He should have been blocked by one of those 2 guys, probably T.J. Yeldon.
The last thing Alabama wanted to do to start the 3rd quarter was give up a touchdown to the Buckeyes and then have a situation like this, 3rd down and 8. Sims flustered again, down again. This time it's Michael Bennett.
Well, we talked about Ohio State being so good on 3rd down in the first half. Alabama was 1 for 6 on 3rd down. Make it 1 for 7 now. Good pressure by Michael Bennett. Spin move on the guard, Leon Brown. That's just great individual effort by an interior lineman rushing the quarterback.
One of the captains, a big fellow with a big play, and forces a punt. And this young guy's been sensational kicking the ball. Ohio State hasn't had a return man back. So he's kicking it to nobody. Christian Jones waits back around the 15. And the rugby-style punt. End over end. Jones is just going to get out of the way and hope it makes it to the end zone. But I don't think it did. It's at the 1-foot line, and it's Devin Smith. That's not the only thing he does is catch long touchdown passes. Starters play on special teams for these guys. Alabama deep in its own territory thanks to Devin Smith downing that punt at the 1-yard line. Ohio State a 6-point lead, and Bama at the 1. They've started some drives inside their own 10 several times this year. They do have 3 touchdowns, but they've got a couple of turnovers as well. They got a long ways to go to try to get the lead back here.
I wouldn't be surprised if they throw it on this first down play, even though they're inside the 1.
T.J. Yeldon is behind Blake Sims. They'll hand it to him, and he's cut down after a pickup of 1. Aaron Lee again. Boys made a lot of tackles, it seems, tonight, or some big plays. The redshirt freshman linebacker.
Alabama 2 possessions here to start the second half. First one started on their own 19, and this one inside the 1.
Amari Cooper's been kind of quiet the last few possessions for Alabama. Sims about 3 yards deep in his own end zone to take the snap, and they're going to keep it on the ground, and Yeldon broke it out there for what looks like a first down.
He looked quick on that play, too.
Yeah, he did.
Been bothered by a hamstring. They thought he would be 100% by now. Did not start the game, but he looked awful quick bursting through the hole on that one.
How about that block by Jalston Fowler that gave him the room to get out to the 12-yard line? Great look at it from above. Fowler's a very important key to this offense. Voted one of the captains. Senior out of Mobile. Now it's Derrick Henry back in at the tailback spot, and he'll get the toss. With Fowler in front of him. Derrick Henry down the sideline. Big run by the big fella who has a touchdown tonight. And that time he picks up 21.
Well, they outflanked him. They brought the tight end. O.J. Howard in motion. He got a block. They pulled the tackle, Cam Robinson. And then, as you mentioned, Fowler out there leading it. They got on the edge. They outflanked the Ohio State defense. And Derrick Henry, with that speed, got a big gain out of it.
All the way to the 33. So a drive that started at about their own 2-foot line has them a first down at the 33-yard line. That's Fowler in motion again. They fake the toss and a throwback to Fowler. Head-on collision there after a 4-yard pickup.
Pretty nice play by Blake Sims. It didn't gain a lot of yards, but when you run a bootleg like that, you got to get your head and eyes around right away in case there's somebody still there. Ohio State played it very disciplined, and he did a nice job, Blake Sims, of getting his eyes around and completing the pass.
And Fowler now comes out as a wide receiver. To the bottom of your screen, they'll give it to Henry, and he's going to lose a yard, maybe 2. Bennett and Washington in on the stop. Third downs tonight. Ohio State has owned it. Alabama has suffered because of it.
Well, and look at the average yards to go for Alabama. That's manageable distance, but a very poor average so far.
Yeldon back in there. He and Fowler switch places. Sims, quick throw, intercepted. Picked off by Steve Miller. Miller. Defensive lineman dream. Touchdown. What else can happen in this game?
What a perfect call by Luke Fickell and Chris Ash. They anticipated on that third down play that Blake Sims would look for Amari Cooper on a slant. They dropped the defensive end on a zone pressure right in the way of that throw. They brought inside linebackers to rush the quarterback. They dropped the defensive end, and he was right in the throwing lane in front of Amari Cooper.
Nurnberger's extra point. Up and good. 3:21 remaining third quarter. 28 unanswered Buckeye points in a game that looked like it was going to go sour in Ohio State's direction when it was 21-6, and now look what it is. 2nd and 3, Henry again, diving, and somebody's helmet came off in the middle.
Bennett.
It's Michael Bennett. He's shaken up as well.
Well, he made the tackle. He was the one who got the legs knocked out of Derrick Henry and lost his helmet. He'll have to come out for a play. He's looking for his helmet right now. He might be a little woozy.
I think he might have gotten Derrick Henry's knee on that helmet. Looks like it.
He's had a heck of a ball game.
Sure has.
You know, he has played well down the stretch in the Big Ten championship game. 4 tackles for loss. He forced 2 fumbles. When he's healthy and when he doesn't have to play 60 or 70 snaps in a game, he is really disruptive on the inside. And he's been a disruptor tonight.
Henry got the first down at the 36. Sims going to throw it out. Amari Cooper on the corner. And Cooper's close to another first down. May have it.
That's a play they stole right out of the Auburn playbook. Auburn ran this for a touchdown against them in the Iron Bowl in 2013. Quarterback run, but you've got that little bubble screen as an outlet instead of a pitch man. They react to the run. You throw it out to Amari Cooper, and you get another first down.
Alabama fans are saying we don't want to steal anything from Auburn except a win, but they did steal that play, and it's a first down at the 47. Sims pump fake once. Now he's in trouble. Trying to dance out of it. Somehow did. Blake Sims. Well, he's going to get planted by Darren Lee, but he made something out of nothing there.
Yeah, did a heck of a job to get out of trouble, but not able to throw the football downfield anywhere. Good pressure by Ohio State and Darren Lee, and we've called his name a lot. He's been very active tonight from his linebacker position.
So it goes down as a sack, the 3rd of the night, with the loss of 2. Bennett's back in there. Sims under center. Blitz coming. He fakes it to Henry and rifles it far side, and it's incomplete, well short of Amari Cooper, who was covered by Eli Apple.
It's a long throw for Blake Sims from the left hash, throwing a deep comeback route to the right sideline.
He had been great on 3rd downs, leading the country this year. That's not the case tonight. Not only that, it's the longest 3rd down of the night for the Tide.
Right now, if you're Blake Sims, don't take any unnecessary risks. There's a lot of time left. You're 1 score down. You can flip the field if you have to punt. Don't force a bad play.
Middle screen to Henry, and he's going to be dropped by Curtis Grant, the senior middle linebacker and one of the captains. Nice play by Grant. Yeah, and with this punter they have, you never know. He's put a couple down around the 5-yard line tonight. Great leg for J.K. Scott, the freshman out of Denver. And he's only averaging 61.
Yeah.
Jalen Marshall will wait back inside the 10. Comes out and lines up on the left side. We haven't seen anything from him tonight. And now Amari Cooper in motion. Sims rolls right, fires, intercepted by Von Bell. A wasted opportunity again for Alabama. Remember, last punt only went 21 yards with a backward bounce. See what Johnston does this time.
Oh, they hit him. There's a flag.
Oh, boy. And Jones is buried on the other end.
The last time they did not go after him. They set up a punt return. It was a short punt, and they got great field position. This time they came after the punter Johnston and ran into him. Now, is it 5 yards or is it more?
Whoop, there goes the headset.
That would suggest it's not personal foul. If it was a personal foul, I think he'd still have the headsets on.
Here's the call upcoming from Lam Clark.
Running into the kicker, defense number 24. That penalty is declined. First down.
So the line of scrimmage will be the 45-yard line with 8:46 remaining in the football game, and Alabama trailing by 6. Another look at the penalty. And Urban Meyer's reaction. .846 remaining in the fourth quarter. Still a 6-point game. And the All-State Sugar Bowl here in New Orleans. I want to bring in Bill Lamagna, our rules expert, on that last play on the running into the punter call that infuriated Urban Meyer. Bill?
Well, we had the kicker displaced on this. He wasn't roughed. He hits the upper leg. Kicker spins on this and goes down. He kind of put a little accent on it with the spin. But he was only displaced, not roughed.
There's the little demi-plie, whatever you call it.
And now the headset's going to get displaced.
I don't know where that went. That baby's out there someplace. And Alabama at the 45-yard line. Andrew White in motion. Fake the stretch play, and Sims wants to throw, and now he's going to run with it. Gets what he can and gets out of bounds right about midfield.
Well, after Blake Sims' first interception that was returned for a touchdown, he responded with resiliency and brought his team back for a touchdown to cut the lead to 6. He threw his second interception when they had a golden opportunity to take the lead after the poor punt. Let's see how he responds this time. Again, that's been his MO all season, is resiliency, and that's why his teammates have rallied behind him so strongly throughout the year. Play clock down to 5 right now. Alabama might have to burn a timeout. There it is.
And they do take a timeout, so they've only got 2 left.
Timeout. Alabama.
That one interception that was returned for a touchdown by Steve Miller. That's the first pick 6 thrown by an Alabama quarterback since 2007. That's the one that's the difference in the ball game right now. There's the difference in the ball game. Yep. Defensive lineman interception return for a touchdown.
Fellow Canton, Ohio native, played at Canton McKinley for the Bulldogs.
The football right at the midfield stripe. Derrick Henry got a first down inside the 45.
I think Alabama will go back to being very fundamental here. Try a little smash mouth football, some play action off of that. The last interception Blake Sims threw, they were trying to go a little bit tricky and fool the Ohio State defense, and it backfired on him. It didn't fool Von Bell, and they ended up throwing the interception at the 1-yard line.
Derrick Henry now closing in on that 100-yard mark as well. Ezekiel Elliott well over that for Ohio State. Here's Henry and a nice cutback. Got close to the 41.
We talked about early in the ball game that Urban Meyer said to us he loved his preparation. He felt great about his team. His only question was, are we good enough? I think that question has been answered very well. They are definitely good enough to not only be in this game, to win this game, or to potentially play for a national championship this year.
Straight drop by Sims on 2nd and 7. Pressure coming from Bosa. He runs away from him, but only got to the 40-yard line.
Nice job on Amari Cooper. They had Eli Apple in coverage with a safety, Von Bell over the top.
Well, 4 straight runs, but you got to think that they're going to have to put one in the air here on the season. 3rd in the FBS tonight, 1 for 9. 3rd down and 6.
You bring the tight end out here to hopefully draw coverage by a corner right here.
Cooper up on top. Quarterback draw. Sims loses yardage. Darren Lee again.
Darren Lee has played a heck of a ball game. He's coming on the blitz. He reads it, and he falls back in to make the tackle on the run. Red quarterback run immediately and made the nice play.
Well, it's 4th down, but the good news is if you're an Alabama fan, number 15 has dropped 3 inside the 10 tonight, including 2 at the 5. Alabama was a man short on their punt team. Scott, high kick again, bounces down inside the 5 again.
Wow. This guy's done a little bit of everything. You know, he's boomed the long ones, and he's shown the finesse kick as well.
5:24, time becoming a factor in this All-State Sugar Bowl.
Now, how important is field position? Ohio State's last 3 possessions, they've started at their own 9, 8, and 5.
And there's their 4th quarter offense. Minus 12 yards, no first downs. Alabama's hoping they can keep that statistic intact right here. Again, Jones at his own goal line. Gives it off to Elliott. And Ezekiel goes for about 4 as we check in with Holly.
Well, linebacker was already positioned on this Alabama defense that had very little depth. It's a concern of their team, and so they have now lost 2 linebackers in this game, guys. Reggie Ragland just came out of the locker room in street clothes. He will not return. They previously lost Dylan Lee to a shoulder injury. He's in street clothes, so they're down to Reuben Foster and Sean Dion Hamilton in the game right now with Denzel Duval.
And Dion Hamilton's a true freshman. Jones, empty backfield's going to run with it. Across the 10, puts the power into Cyrus Jones, but Jones got him on the ground. Picked up 5. And Cardell's a little bit slow getting up after that run. 3rd down and 1 coming up. We're down to 4.5 minutes. 1 possession game. Ohio State's missed their last 4 third down conversions. This is a short one, though. I'm not sure I wouldn't run him again.
I'm not so sure I wouldn't give it to 15.
Just got it. And Landon Collins shaken up again. Remember, playing with a bad right shoulder or upper arm, whatever. And he's on the turf again.
On the last 2 plays, as they take a look at Landon Collins, Cardell Jones has gotten hit pretty hard. Collins hit him on this one, and then he got hit again by Nick Perry, the other safety.
And that run by Jones is the 4th time tonight that he's rushed for a first down on a 3rd down situation. Only needed 1, and he got a little bit more than that. He's trying to get a quick breather here. And Collins, well, he bounces up and bounces to the sideline to see if he comes back in after 1 play. That first down for the Buckeyes, that's the first down they've had since there was 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
And it was huge because the clock is on their side. Alabama with 2 timeouts. They're not in the area yet where they need to think about using them. But that conversion bought Ohio State some valuable time. Right now, Ohio State using as much of the clock as they can. The clock restarted after the injured player, Landon Collins, was taken off. And they can run about 20 seconds off the clock here.
Ezekiel Elliott. And he's got an opening. Elliott off to the races. Can they catch him? No, they can't. Touchdown. Yards. The longest play from scrimmage allowed by Alabama this year. Career high night for Ezekiel Elliott, and they'll go for two here. And it's good to Thomas, and it's a 2-touchdown lead.
Brad Holly talked about the lack of depth at linebacker. Sean Dion Hamilton, the freshman, that's him right here. Evan Spencer, we've already said he's a thumper as a blocker at the wide receiver. Watch the block he gets on the freshman linebacker. Key block in the play. Ezekiel Elliott gets behind that block. Billy Price gets a block on the safety, Nick Perry, and then the speed of Ezekiel Elliott does the rest. Evan Spencer has thrown a touchdown, and he just threw the block that may have secured the Sugar Bowl for Ohio State.
The last two games for this young man, 40 carries, 450 yards, a career high of 230 right now. And he had a 54-yarder earlier in the game. This one takes the cake, 85 yards for the touchdown. Going into the Big Ten championship, people wondered if the Buckeyes even belonged in the college football playoff. Then they took care of the Badgers 59-0. And right now they're up 42-28 on #1 Alabama. Or kick return for a score.
Setting up the return.
And he has to call fair catch. So Alabama takes over around the 16-yard line, trailing by a touchdown and no timeouts. But Ohio State only ran 26 seconds off the clock on those 3 plays they had.
So if you're Blake Sims with no timeout, the clock's always going to stop if you make a first down until they reset the chains. You can use your clock kill play or throw the ball to the sidelines. In the LSU game, when they trailed, there were only 50 seconds left, and they started on their own 35, and Blake Sims took them to the 10-yard line for a game-tying field goal. They need a touchdown in this one.
There's the Biletnikoff winner that you said 3.5 hours ago. It helps at the quarterback if you got somebody like him.
What Blake Sims cannot do here is take a sack.
Throws complete to Howard, the tight end. That's his first catch, but they keep him inbounds. Clock will continue to move. Sims trying to get him lined up in a hurry. Valuable time ticking off that clock.
I don't know why you didn't have 2 plays called there at the line of scrimmage.
This time they go to Black, and he got leveled, and the ball is out.
Oh, they called it complete?
Clock ticking under a minute. 3rd down, that's irrelevant.
Alabama's moving way too slowly here.
Sure are. Sims slants it. DeAndrew White's got it. That'll stop the clock to move the chains momentarily, but they've only got it out to the 38-yard line.
Now you either got to move fast here, or you got to kill the clock here and huddle up. But whatever it is, you got to do it with a sense of urgency.
They're losing time here. Down to 33 seconds. Sims in trouble. Can't take the sack. As Todd said, he's going to run for it. Got to get to the sideline. Well, at least got to midfield, and that will stop the clock to move the chains.
I think you need to clock it here.
Up.
I think you need to line up and spike the football and get in a huddle and call play.
Clock hasn't started yet. Now it has. At the midfield stripe. 20 seconds to play. Sims throws wide side. Howard's got it, and he gets out of bounds.
Just as good.
15 seconds remaining.
Again, the difference between this and the LSU game. The LSU game, they just needed a field goal to tie and force overtime. To force overtime here or have a chance to win, they got to get it all the way to the end zone.
Amari Cooper comes out to the bottom of your screen. 15 seconds to play. No timeouts for Alabama, trailing by a touchdown. Pressure coming. He's going to air it out long. Floats in the air and almost caught by DeAndre White, but broken up by Eli Apple. And now 8 seconds is all we've got left.
I'm not sure why you're not throwing this in the direction of Amari Cooper. I mean, if he's the best receiver in college football and I'm going to throw the ball up and give somebody a chance, I'm going to give number 9 that chance. No disrespect to DeAndre White, but the guy who came into the game with 115 catches should get the ball targeted to him here.
Maybe the last play. Sims. Deep. Hail Mary. Not answered. Intercepted. Ohio State's going to win it. The dream continues for the Buckeyes. The nightmare starts for #1 Alabama. They are no more. Two old rivals, two of the best in the business.